The 6th anniversary is almost coming to an end, and so with this massive celebration wrapping up, it's time to go over my full Legends Limited / Ultra unit tier list. This is basically to give an overview of where every single premium unit ranks in terms of PvP viability, as well as crown the best unit in the game at this point in time. So let's just hop into it. So as always, we need to give a quick shout out to DNGEE for providing the tier list. He always keeps it up to date with all the latest units. As you can see, we have Giblet here, we have Ultra Gojira for all the 6th anniversary units here, so make sure you guys go follow him, and if you want to use a tier list, it's going to be in the description below. So like I said, we're going to be going through all the Legends Limited units as well as the Ultra units. We're also going to be placing all the 6th anniversary Sparking units as well, because why not? Some of them are really good. I don't think we're going to go through all these Sparking units like the ones we got throughout the year, but at least the 6th anniversary ones. So I have 5 tiers here, basically the Gods of Legends, Z tier, S tier, close to my ass, and straight up my ass, right? These tiers are basically going to have units that, you know, are not really going to be seen in PvP. They're either Zenkai buff or just straight up not used at all. Honestly, I'm just going to change this to tier 1 just because some of these units could probably be used a bit, but the my ass tier, they're going to be straight up unusable. So the early tiers, I'm just going to be throwing units in here, not really with any explanation, just going to throw them, give a general overview of them. So here are the units. These are basically all the early LF units with and Cell. I think he might be one of the oldest units without a Zenkai, or it's Future Gon or Gogeta Blue after these two, of course. But these are units you're not really going to see in PvP. They're strictly there as a Zenkai buff for your main units. There's really nothing else to say. These guys either need a second platinum equipment or just straight up a double Zenkai. I don't know, but for now, these are going to be the units here. I might throw in a bit more after just to see how many people or how many units are going to be in tier 1. There's going to be a lot of units in tier 1, let me tell you right now. The majority of LFs and Ultras are just going to be straight up thrown into tier 1. So let's just start by throwing those units there. So these are going to be the units in tier 1. Honestly, I expected there to be more units in tier 1. I might want to create like a tier 1 and tier 2 because some of these units are not equivalent to others. Like for example, you could say, oh wait, why did I throw his Broly here? He just got a Zenkai. He doesn't deserve to be there. Like some of these units, like I would say maybe like this full power Frieza is better than units like Super Saiyan Blue Evolved or Gogeta Blue, right? Gogeta Blue is like a lot inferior than like Sword. Oh wait, Sword of Trunks doesn't deserve to be there either because he got a Zenkai. But like, yeah, a lot of these units, you're not really gonna use them at all. But if you decide to use them, then it could work out. I'm gonna put Frieza, this Frieza at the top because he's still used as a support unit and to provide blue cards for your team. So he can be there. He's like, I guess, the leader of tier 1. Doesn't really say, it's not really saying much, but it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of these units just either deserve a Zenkai or their platinum or unique equipment. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing really else to say. So I'm gonna throw some units in S tier as well. If I notice that there's like some sort of gap between like these two tiers, like a noticeable gap, then I will create another tier so we can throw in a bit more of these trash units in there. So let's just start filling up S tier and then we'll come back. Yeah, so I've noticed there's a lot of units in S tier, so I'm just gonna make this tier 2, or I can just call this close to my ass, and then we'll create another tier called tier 1, and then we're gonna throw in some units in there. So yeah, tier 1, it's like those mid-level units. Like you can still make it work with these units, but they're not super top tier units. Like you could, like Ultra Gojira, you could still use him, right? He's very usable. Rev UI is very usable. Jiren's usable, right? These are all very usable units, but they're not like, they're not the core units on their team, their main team. Just quickly scan through this. VB with his plat, he can be usable here. But yeah, it's not really that meta viable, right? They're literally the middle of the pack, right? These guys are not used at all, basically, and these guys are used sometimes, right? Sometimes. So I think there's a couple more options I could throw in here, but I'm gonna do tier S tier first, and then we'll see if we can flip around some units in here. By the way, Gods of Legends and Z tier will comprise of the top 10 units, so I don't want to have too many units in these top tiers here. So S tier is where we're gonna put like a lot of the PvP viable units, right? So here we have the S tier units here. Once again, S tier is not really ordered either. They're just like all around the same level. Some of them are a bit higher than others, but it's when you come to these units, it's really hard to actually just order them, right? Like Kid Buu, this Zenkai Kid Buu is really good, but he's a lot, I would say he's a lot better than Super Vegeta, right? And then he's a lot better than Evoken, right? But Evoken, I don't think deserves to be in this realm. You know, maybe he might be, because when you're looking at these units, he might be along those same levels. So you can actually Gamma. Why is Gamma? Gammas can go down here as well. Like again, it's not ordered, so don't think like, oh my god, the Zenkai Kid Buu is like 20 spots above Evoken. Don't think like that. They're all around the same level, right? So that's why they're here. It's really when we get closer to the top 10 is where you can actually start ordering these units based on like if they're number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever the case may be. But this is going to be it. Zenkai Kid Buu, Super Saiyan God Goku. I can honestly put him at the top here, at the top of S tier. He doesn't crack the top 10, unfortunately. It's very disappointing what they did with God Goku, because he's honestly, like, all the other anniversary LFs are pretty, like, good. They're pretty viable in PvP. They're like all top 5 basically, except this guy. He's a extreme outlier compared to all the other anniversary units, right? Which sucks, because you could argue he was kind of the most anticipated out of the one. Maybe not compared to Ultra G4 and any of the fusing units. I mean, you know, he was an anticipated unit, especially considered we haven't gotten one since like for 5 years or something, right? So that's that. Super 17 still very good, especially with you know, G4 buffs. I don't think he's quite top 10 yet, or I don't think he's gonna be ever top 10 at this point. But he's still a very solid option. Broly with a Zenkai, definitely the least impactful of the recent LF Zenkais. The LF Zenkais this year have been very good, or during this anniversary have been very good. So he's not as good as the others, but he's still very solid. Revival Pycon, he still works pretty good. He obviously has been power crept a bit, but you know, he's still a revival on fusion, so that can help out a lot. And then Evil Buu, probably the best sparking we've gotten during this anniversary. Yeah, I would say he's better than Shin for sure. Shin is also pretty solid, but he's definitely better than Beerus. And who's the other one? I'm pretty sure there was like another one, right? Wait, am I missing someone? There was Supreme Kai, there's Evil Buu. Oh, Broly, yeah, Broly's also very good. He's all in this tier. Wait, where's Beerus? Yeah, Beerus is there as well, so that's fine. Beast Gohan, still solid. Trunks and Vegeta with their plat equipment definitely got a bit more value, but it's not enough for them to crack the top 10 spot. So there's that. They're definitely around like the top 20-ish range, top 20, top 25, around that range there. UVB, same thing. He can work actually really well with the G4, where you can lock in your opponent with G4's unique gauge, and then swap over to Vegito, and you can either ultimate or Rising Rush, and there you go. That's easy because you remove their vanish as well, so that's really, really good. Omega Shenron with his unique equipment or platinum equipment, he's honestly really solid. Definitely not top 10, but he's actually pretty good. The amount, like, he easily has the best equipment in the game, and the fact that platinum equipment impacted him that much, it's actually really good, and it's a good, I guess, indicator on how they're gonna make platinum equipment going forward for his ultra units. So I'm looking forward to when they drop the free-to-play ones, and then start eventually dropping the ones for the summonable units, because these ultras, they're not cracking it anymore, right? So you can honestly argue them in like tier 1, but it is what it is. So there's that. Super Vegeta's also very solid. I think he's decent, nothing crazy, but honestly, I think he's pretty solid. Goku and Bardock. Ultra Gym, I don't want to give an explanation for all of these guys, but they're, like I said, they're all basically in the realm of you can use them in PvP and find success. Maybe might kick down Evokin to tier 1 and Kid Buu, Ultra Kid Buu to tier 1 as well. I think they're more fit for the tier 1 category, just because you don't see them in PvP, but you see these guys more, I guess, more often in PvP. Let me just take a quick scan here. Yeah, I mean, these guys, you don't see them at all in PvP. Like, you occasionally see GB, G4, and all that stuff, but like, they're really not used as core members, right? I mean, same with these guys, but I feel like they have a more updated kit, therefore they can last longer in today's PvP meta, so that's why they're there. Janemba also could potentially, and I'll keep Janemba just because he has a strike gauge and is kind of annoying, and he can still be very annoying. So this is basically S tier. I think it's fine. I don't think any of these units, like, some of these units maybe could be pushed towards S tier, and some of these units could be brought down to tier 1, but for now, we're just going to leave it like that. So now, let's get into the top 10, and we're going to start off with Z tier. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to put Pat the Power Kid Goku. He's probably going to be around in tier 1. I also forgot to add Giblet, and he's also in tier 1 as well. So here we have the Z tier. So there's 6 units in Z tier, and this is the order I want to have it in. So it goes CMZ, Super Baby 2, Ultra Golden Frieza, Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku, Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku, and Spirit Bomb Goku here. So CMZ, I think, fits the best as the front leading at Z tier. I was thinking of maybe swapping it around with any of these 2 units, but I think you're gonna see the CMZ the most out of them, for sure, because Fusions is just hyper popular right now. Fusions, I believe, is at their best point ever in history. Like, they have like 3, 4 top 5 options. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't remember the last time a Fusion's team has been this dominant in PvP. So we're gonna have them CMZ at the top here just because of how good his teams are. Super Baby 2 is actually very good. The problem is you don't see Super Baby 2 that often. Same with Golden Frieza. You don't see him that often anymore. You don't really see powerful opponent. It's a very good team, don't get me wrong, but they're obviously not as popular as the other units or teams. That's obviously has to do with the characters not being as popular as the top characters, right? But they're still very good. Baby is probably one of the better options to combat G4. But even then, like, G4 has very few counters to him, right? So he's gonna be there. His gauge is very annoying. I'm pretty sure you guys already know all about his gauge. It's very annoying. And with not many red units other than CMZ running around, yellows are decently free, right? So there's that. Golden Frieza definitely still has a better kit than most of these guys. It's just that his teams are not up there with the others, and there being a couple of strong yellow units being out there to actually stop him is really good. Once again, his comeback is probably obviously his most useful aspect. And with these units like G4 coming with anti-revival unique equipments, like for example G4 on it, I believe is on his ultimate, whenever he pops a revival, he gets like what, 3 Dragon Balls and a bunch of other stuff. Like, his comeback not being labeled as a revival really helps out, and of course the damage it deals is really good. So there's that. But I would say the most surprising one is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who you could have argued was #1 before the release of G4, and now he's all the way, what, number 7, 8 maybe? I think 8, 9, 10, yeah, 8, which is pretty damn crazy. I love to see it. I want this guy out of here. I was tempted to put him like somewhere here, but you know, I couldn't be too biased there. But Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, his kit is still ridiculous, right? He was arguably, no, not even arguably, he was definitely the best last man standing unit in the game prior to G4. I do think G4 is now the best last man standing unit. The only real flaw this guy has is simply being a green unit and not having consistent neutrality. Like, a lot of these top tier units here have consistent neutrality, and him being a green unit with so many strong purple units, or I guess one strong purple unit that is seen everywhere in PvP, it kind of hurts him, right? Obviously he gets his neutrality when he becomes last man, but it's not enough. He needs to have it prior to reaching last man, because you can easily just, like I said, do the unique gauge tech with Gogeta 4 and then swap over to either VB if you're running him, or SV, and you rush. It doesn't even matter if SV has type disadvantage. It's gonna kill him no matter what. He has a guaranteed rush. No one's there to cancel his buffs for him, so he's done. He's gone. He's gone. So it's very easy to get rid of him, and he's just ridiculous. He's just ridiculous. So easy little ultimate with G4 is gonna kill him. I mean, G4's ultimate basically kills anyone, so there's that. So yeah, he's practically falling off, and I do think he's probably gonna make it back in the top 5 eventually, but for now, with the abundance of G4s, I think he definitely deserves a spot there. So next we have UI Goku. UI Goku is honestly, he is taking a lot of beating right now. He's taking a lot of beating. Not only that his lock-in is getting destroyed very easily. I'm pretty sure the devs know that they've done a pretty crazy job with his lock-in, right? First, it was Ultimate Gohan, where if you locked in Ultimate Gohan is a purple unit, but if you lock in Ultimate Gohan and you use the ultimate, he cancels buffs, he goes neutral. It's like, it's not gonna kill him. UI Goku is not gonna kill Ultimate Gohan, and that's a purple unit. And then you have G4, where G4, if you have him on the sidelines and you're trying to pop his lock-in, G4's unique gauge actually counters his lock-in. He will actually switch in and like stop the lock-in, which is crazy. And then the ultimate, he can stop it as well. It is like, they're trying so hard to just get rid of his unique equipment, or not unique equipment, his lock-in, because it's such a powerful mechanic. So that's definitely hinders on his viability. And then G4's ultimate, it's gonna eviscerate him. It's gone. Gogeta's Assault Chain also reduces his unique gauge. So he's slowly starting to feel the effects of power creep, because a lot of these mechanics are targeting him specifically. So there's that. But if you're not going up against a G4 or a Gogeta Blue, like, he can still put in the work, or Ultimate Gohan, of course. He can still put in the work. He still works really well on Sun Family. You can still run the Radhan, Ultimate Gohan, and this UI Saiyan Goku, and it can still work. Don't get it twisted. He's still a top 10 unit, right? That has to mean something. So he's still very good, but he's definitely slowly being targeted and kind of they want to kind of move on from this guy, essentially, right? So I don't blame him. He's a very toxic unit, so there's that. And then Elf Spirit Bomb Goku, I mean, he works pretty decently. Should I even, I'm thinking if I should replace him with someone else, because this guy, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to put him in the top 10, but I'm looking here and there isn't really any other unit I want to put in the top 10 with like excluding him, right? Like you could make the argument for maybe Kid Buu. Honestly, Kid Buu, but Kid Buu, it's not really, his teams are powerful opponent. Powerful opponent is very strike oriented. Majin Buu Saga could work, but you have SV, so you're not really gonna use him. This guy could still work pretty decently with what's his face, G4, and he's a Sun family unit, so he can work with these guys as well. This trio right here could be pretty good as well. So he's definitely the weakest of the top 10 units here, and you can easily replace him with some of these other units, even like potentially, I don't know who I would replace him with. Probably Kid Buu or God Goku are the strongest candidates to replace him with, but for now we're gonna leave him here. He still has pretty good utility. He has canceling buffs, he has endurance, he has his unique gauge. He's a pretty decent tanking option, so we're gonna still keep him there, but I wouldn't be opposed to placing any of these other more commonly used units over this guy, right? So like I said, he's definitely the weakest link out of these 6 units here, but I think he deserves a spot at the number 10 spot. So now let's move over to the Gods of Legend, and here are the 4 best units in the game. Now they are on the same tier. Like, don't expect G4 to be like on a tier of his own. I don't think that's the case. I think he's very comparable to these units as well, but you can honestly make the argument for, okay, probably not these two, but you can make the argument for SV also being above G4. Like it's definitely an argument there because they work so well together. SV's biggest weakness was Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, or basically any green unit at that, and you just give him the strongest, most broken purple unit ever in G4 to pair him alongside him, and fuck are you supposed to do? You just can't do anything. So there's that. You can definitely make the argument for this, but I will put him like this just because it's almost like a 1A 1B type situation, but I do think G4 has a slight edge over him. But let's talk a bit about these two. GB definitely has seen a monstrous rise in viability because first of all, he's a yellow unit, right? He's a yellow unit that counters a lot of purple units right now. Assault Chain, which works well on these two, and this guy as well. And he's just a really good unit. Fusing is a really synchro gauge, full heal, all that stuff. He's a really phenomenal unit. I don't think it's enough to put him over SV. I don't think they're interchangeable. I think SV definitely is a bit better than GB simply because of that rising rush, and he just does a lot of damage overall, so that's really good. But I could see the argument of Ultimate Gohan above GB as well. The only reason I have Gogeta Blue above Ultimate Gohan is simply because of teams. Right now, Fusion Warriors is destroying PvP. They are so powerful, these 3. They're so powerful. Now, you could argue, like, yeah, they don't have any rush control because that's really the only weakness they have. So what you can do is maybe go purple, purple, blue with this guy on leader slot. Or you could just run a trio like this. Well, that doesn't have rush protection either, but there's that. But also because CMZ is there, and he's a very strong red unit, so there's some weakness to being a yellow, some slight, not too much, but there's some, right? But GB is really good. But Ultimate Gohan, individually, I do think Ultimate Gohan is better than GB, but it's just that his teams are not up to par with Fusions, man. Hybrids is not up to par with them. Majin Buu Saga is not above to par with them. Fusions is ridiculous right now. It's kind of crazy. Like I said, I don't think Fusion Warriors have been this dominant ever in the game. Like, when was the last time Fusions had the 3 best units in the game on the same team at the same time? Like, I don't remember the last time. The closest I can see was potentially last year, where they had, or the year before, 4th anniversary, where they had USV and USG at the same time. They're like number 2, 3, top 3, all 2, both of them. Last year, I think VB and GB were like top 3 potentially. UGB and UVB, I mean. But here we have all 2 of them at the forefront, the top 3 best units in the game. Like, I don't remember the last time that happened. So that I would say this is the strongest Fusions team we've ever seen in history. So there's that. But yeah, Ultimate Gohan, he's still ridiculous. Don't get it twisted. His kit is ridiculous. He spawns green cards, blue cards, seemingly straight up out of his ass, which is annoying, but it is what it is. instant vanish removal on main ability for no reason. His canceling of buffs whenever they use the blue card or ultimate, and then he heals and goes neutral. That is ridiculous. And it's one of the reasons why UI Goku has taken a hit. Ultimate Gohan is just, he's just that guy. Don't get it twisted. I hate it. Doesn't deserve to be an anniversary unit, but unfortunately he's there. So there's that. We talked a bit about this guy. We talked about SV having a rush, guaranteed rush. Still ridiculous. I don't think it's as toxic as people like to make it out to be, but it's still very good. There's no counterplay to it other than canceling buffs, right? Because if you cancel buffs, then the endurance unit can tank it, or the revival unit, whatever the case may be. Still ridiculous, right? And he does stupid amount of damage. And then G4, I mean, the biggest thing is not, I don't even think it's his gauge. I don't think it's his gauge. Now, don't get me wrong. His gauge is stupid. It counters everything. It counters everything. The fact that it counters even UI Goku's lock-in, like, that is stupid. That is stupid. But it counters while you do anything. Now, the way they balanced it is that you can't chain it into anything, right? Which is a good thing. The good thing that you can't chain into your fucking ultimate or a blue card that would just nuke your whole team, right? No, it's good that they actually resets both the players at neutral, and you can kind of gain priority again because you're locked in, man. You're locked in. So the fact that they can't chain is good. You're locked in, so you need to kind of work a bit more to gain priority over again to utilize whatever cards you want, right? So that's good. But I think the biggest thing is his ultimate, man. His main ability, neutral, ultimate, crit rate, crit damage. Like, the fact that his ultimate is already going to do a lot of damage, and then they just give him crit damage is just ridiculous. That's one of the reasons why he's going to basically one-shot anyone. That's the reason why. So, you literally just need to get priority once, and there you go. The ultimate is going to kill someone. So it's just ridiculous. And then AoE green card for literally no reason. They didn't have to do that, but they did. They gave him an AoE green card, which, by the way, his gauge can counter. His gauge can counter literally anything other than a tap attack, tap blast, or rising rush, right? It's pretty stupid. And a tackle, of course. Any tap actions can't trigger his unique gauge, right? So there's that. He has blast armor on his strikes. He has nullification of blast arts on his blue and ultimate. So that's something to keep in note. It's not blast armor, so Gohan's armor-piercing blast cards don't affect his blue card and his ultimate, which is something to keep note of, right? It's pretty stupid, which is good because this guy's blast armor break is fucking stupid as well. What else is there even to talk about? He does stupid damage. He's just that guy. The only thing he doesn't have is no endurance, and he doesn't have immunity against, like, attribute downgrades or something like that. So, like, he can get fainted, he can get paralyzed and stuff like that. And yeah, that's practically it. I see a lot of people complaining about his defenses a bit, which I do think I mean, to be fair, his defenses stat-wise are really, really good. If anything, it's his offensive stats that are, I guess, lacking compared to the other ultras. But what I've noticed, I don't think, basically for me, I've noticed that his defenses are not that bad. Like, he gets his gauge very fast, and when the gauge pops, he gets health back, right? So that's one way of, I guess, counteracting his low defense. And even then, I don't think it's that low. But they definitely had in mind the Fusion Warrior setup when they were thinking about his defense, because if you run a peaked out Fusion Warrior team, you're getting health from him, you're getting health from him, you're getting health from Gotenks, who Zenkai buffs him, so you want to use him, and you're getting health from Super Vegito here. Where is he? Super Vegito here, who Zenkai buffs G4 and gives him health. So you're getting 4 HP buffers on a peaked out, most optimal setup for Fusion Warriors. So they had to keep that in mind when designing this unit, because you can't just make him extremely tanky and then give him 4 HP buffers. Like, what? That makes no sense, right? So they definitely had that in mind. So with that in mind, it just makes complete sense as to why they designed him this way. So there's really no drawback. There's no drawback. He's just that guy. He's just that guy. Like, this pose right here basically signifies the best unit in the game. Like, I couldn't think of a better pose to give him to demonstrate who the best unit in the game is. So this is gonna be the list. Top 4 right here, top 6 right, top 10 right here. These guys are interchangeable. These guys are not ordered. I mean, let me just throw Beast Go on here just because why not? But yeah, these guys don't really matter whatsoever. Let me just throw this guy here for fun. So yeah, this is going to be the 6th anniversary, my 6th anniversary Legends Limited / Ultra unit tier list, with the exception of a couple sparking units here and there. I didn't include these sparking units and Zenkai units purposely because I wanted to be strictly Legends Limited and Ultra units with the addition of 6th anniversary units, but that's going to be pretty much it. So definitely let me know what you guys agree, disagree with. What would you change in this tier list? Do you think Goji F4 is the best unit, or do you think someone else here is the best unit in the game? Definitely let me know in the comments below because I'm interested to know what you guys have to say. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. That's just so important, so don't forget. Have a great day. See ya.